Just trying to do something a little different today. I'm a die-hard boxing fan. Don't get it twisted. But it ain't my number one sport. Never has been, and I don't think it ever will be. My number one sport of all time is it's a man's game. It's that NFL, it's that football, niggas. And all y'all, when football ain't did it did, nigga, shut up before I knock you over. Like every year around August, around this time, my boys call me and they're like, they know I get it in on football. They always call me, yo, we got some cats over in Colony, we got some cats over in Troy. Come meet up so we can handle this. I'm like, I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm the first one there and the last nigga to leave. You know what I mean? So I just want to let y'all know how much of a diehard I am. I'm a junkie when it comes to football, okay? Oh yeah, I got 4 spots left, but I'm gonna just give y'all some take on some of the people I think should be looked out for when doing drafts, okay? Now, I got 4 spots left. As far as 4 more teams I could potentially make. There we go. I know I be talking man shit. But I just want to give y'all a little, little insight on what I got. All right, so now you see my teams, right? You see my teams, right? All these shits. I did this many drafts, which is I think 21 teams right now. The max you can have is 25. But all my diehard football fans already know what it is. You know, they know already that we go ham on this football shit. So let me see. This is my favorite team, but I'm gonna just give y'all a little insight on some of the people that are overlooked and that you can grab real easily during the draft. So this is for majority of the people don't do a type of league that I do. Hold on, let me spark this. Meaning a lot of people don't pick the type of roster. I create my own team. I have a bunch of friends that get it in with me. But I also go against the world. So most of these teams are from the world. My only team is this one right here. I need a raise. I'll show you the difference on this team compared to the others. And then who I feel you guys should be looking out for. You see my logo. Fuck Brady, yo. You know who is better. But I do a 2 quarterback league. So you could, and only 4 people. So that you could use a lot more of the superstars. You see what I mean? But you got to have 4 people just to make a 4-person league. You got to have their emails. You got to send them the invites, so forth and so on. So I have 2 quarterbacks in this league, all right? If you do a 2-quarterback league, which people do, if you do a 2-quarterback league, try to get 2 of them back-to-back. I know a lot of people are quick to, you should get a running back first, blah, 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 blah. Well, that would be the case if running backs were the leading scorers of fantasy football, and they're not. Stop always thinking just because they give you a ranking system. Man, drop my fucking pen. Just because they give you a ranking system and they put Bell first, Johnson second, I think it's Ezekiel, he was third till he got suspended. Now Brown is third. But instead of them going by their rubric every time, come up with your own ideas. Watch the fucking game sometime. That could help. But for instance, Cam Newton is always left on the list mad late, super late. Okay, people forget Cam can move the ball with his feet also, not just through the air, but also with his feet. Yeah, his numbers aren't Roger numbers. You see what I mean? But every now and then, he will drop that 29 or that 21 for you, the 20 for you, the 23 for you, so that you can win your fucking game. Cam is a big pick, so if you go all out on receivers and running backs in the beginning, keep an eye on Cam later on in the draft. He will be available. Some people that a lot of people are overlooking, DeSean Jackson. DeSean Jackson's whack. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. That's why I'm here to clear it up. DeSean Jackson is still one of the fastest players in the NFL. He will burn any type of cornerback out there. That's given. At 30 years old, yes, he's 30. He still can be a force to be reckoned with. With that being said, he got traded to the Bucs. Now the Bucs, with you got Mike Evans on the other side, his counterpart, their quarterback, Jameson Winston, I believe his name is, the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He lets the ball fly. You see what I'm saying? He lets the ball go. And we know who loves to go get that shit, DeSean Jackson. So he's a big sleeper right now. Watch this man. Don't be surprised if DeSean all of a sudden has astronomical games. Look at this man's roster. Second part of the year. 15. He was injured here. 15. 21, 6, that wasn't a good game, but he still produced. 19, 18, 16. Anything above a 14 for the day is considered decent. A 20-point game is a great day. It's a good day if you get 20 points. Now that he's on a team that loves to throw the ball, big sleeper right here. Don't sleep on him. Another big sleeper, Brandon Marshall. You guys got to do your research. Yes, the man's 33 years old, says it right there. But Marshall, he gets the ball. He can catch his ass off. You see what I mean? Had that trouble in Chicago. Had a little bit of grief in Miami. But as far as who he is and him being a target and as tall as he is, Marshall is a phenomenal sleeper. Especially since he's no longer on the bum-ass Jets, where he was still pulling in an 18-point, 20-point game, 18-point game, 16-point game. He's still doing this on the bum-ass Jets who don't have shit. Now that you have a quarterback who can get you the ball, Marshall is huge in sleeping now that he's with the New York Giants. Eli is going to be super. I think, honestly, I'm going to tell y'all just a little of my intake. I think the Giants might go to the Super Bowl this year, all because of Marshall. Marshall, and then you got what's called on the other side, Odell Beckham, please. So with them two being dominant forces, I also have to pay attention to the running back. Don't get it twisted. You got to have all three. You got to have a nice wide receiver set, a good quarterback, and a good running back to get your ass to the fucking Super Bowl. And Marshall is phenomenal to fill in that wide receiver spot. The running back, I believe his name is Parker. I don't know how good he is. I was looking at recent stats. He didn't look so promising to me. So that could be the hinder, but I think they'll do way better than the Cowgirls this year with Marshall as the addition. Let me get, let me see. Oh, another sleeper. Boom. Jalisli. This man came from Buffalo. He was also in Miami, but Buffalo, he showed a little bit of heart, I believe he was the backup to McCoy, if I'm not mistaken. But he's now with New England. He's the number one running back with New England. That says a lot because we all know how Blunt did. Blunt ain't no Marshawn Lynch. Blunt's a big dude, but he ain't running over everybody. Correct? Blunt isn't gaining no Jerome Bettis yards or Marion Barber yards like that. He's not. It's all because of Brady keeping him at the goal line, giving him those little 2 yards, and then Blunt punches it in. You see what I mean? So this is the guy that Brady is going to be giving the ball to. Big sleeper right here, okay? I want to also give a real quick touch on Big Ben Roethlisberger. And one more dude, but Ben Roethlisberger is because Antonio Brown. A lot of people are giving credit to Antonio Brown. He's the 4th pick in the draft. I think he's 3rd now, like I said, with Ezekiel Elliott being suspended. And Ezekiel Elliott's a good pick, too. Eventually, he will be back. You just have to survive those 7 games without him. When it comes to Big Ben, and you guys love Antonio Brown, but you don't like Big Ben. Who the fuck do you think throws Antonio Brown the damn ball, right? If Antonio Brown's scoring touchdowns, who's giving him the ball? Wouldn't it be Big Ben? You dumb fucks. Stop sleeping on Big Ben. I'm tired of seeing this man on the still in the draft to be selected and then sometimes not drafted at all. Then when your quarterback gets hurt or a quarterback has a bye, I go to the waiver wire, then everybody wants to pick up Ben. Like, oh, Ben is still sitting here. I don't know why they were so stupid. No, you were stupid from leaving him there during the draft. Every single draft, I'm like, yo, if y'all ain't going to take Big Ben, who else is going to give Brown all these touchdowns? It's got to be Ben, right? So stop sleeping on Ben like he's trash. Last but not least, yeah, no, look at my team, though, right? I got Bell. I got Murray. Murray's a huge sleeper. Huge. Look at this nigga's scores. 22. Remember, a good day is 20. 22, 21, 26, 25, 18, 12, 21, 19, 21, 28. This nigga Murray, son. He gave you how many? 10, 11, 10 games, 11 games, 19, 15 down here. Nope. 12 games, damn near straight of phenomenal days. If you guys haven't noticed this about Murray yet, you guys are fucking stupid. Murray is as good as one of the elites, like the Bell or the Johnson. Obviously, he ain't those dudes because he got injured. But he is still up there. Stop sleeping on Murray as if he ain't a phenomenal pick. If you pick a great wide receiver and Murray's there for your next pick, grab Murray. So I'm telling you. I got Gronk. Look at my team, man. I got Tom Brady. Yeah, you heard it. I got Drew Brees. Martavius Bryant is one that's a sleeper. He's the opposite side of Antonio Brown. Big addition right here. The suspension, this suspended shit, that's a throw off. If you read down into like the news about him, like over here, click on news. If you read in the news, Bryant is ready to go. Look, Bryant's suspension is listed as the starter opposite Antonio Brown on the Steelers. See that? So he's starting, but they just haven't removed this SSPD, which is your suspension notice. You know, they haven't Okay, I was about to say, I thought I lost everything. They haven't moved the suspension notice for Bryant. I got him on other teams, you know. Phenomenal pick right here. But one of the biggest, and just like Bryant, who's a big pick, like Marshall, who's opposite of the number one receiver. Bryant's opposite of Antonio Brown. Brandon Marshall is opposite of Odell Beckham, right? DeSean Jackson's opposite of Mike Evans. And I don't think Mike Evans is going to do better than DeSean Jackson this year, mark my words. And Davante Adams. This is the other dude that a lot of people sleep on. Phenomenal pick. One thing about Adams is he's the opposite of Jordy Nelson, the number one for the Packers. So my thing is that when I do drafts and I get a number one pick all the time, you have to get a number one pick. You know, I understand if you pick somebody early and then you got to wait dumb long for your next pick. That number one person should be good enough for considered two people. Because a lot of times during fantasy, I have one person that beats two opponents that I'm going against during the matchup of the week. And Adams was my sleeper last year, and he's going to be mine this year. A lot of people don't pick him. They pick him on late. They'll pick Douglas Baldwin over him. They'll pick mad people over this dude, and they don't have no claim to why they're doing it. Adams is the opposite of Jordy Nelson. If Jordy Nelson isn't open, guess who the ball's going to? Rodgers is going to light up the scoreboard. There's my time. Rodgers is going to light up the scoreboard with Adams. Huge pick. Huge sleeper right here. So just a little insight on, some of the guys that you should take a look at. When it comes to teams, do more than one team. You'll be pissed off if you don't. You can name your shit whatever. See, I picked Bell first in this one. My next pick, I picked Bell first. I think Bell's going to do better than Johnson this year. I did Bell first. My next pick was Gronkowski. See what I'm saying? So I went ham on those two so that I understand. I got Montgomery. He's not doing so well. He got injured recently. But my backups, I believe this was the team that was chosen for me because I don't never pick no Ivory and Amari. Yeah, I wasn't here for this entire draft. But you see, I picked up Big Ben. You know, just one of the teams that is not going. I don't think it's going to the Super Bowl for me, but I still play my heart out with every single team. This is my favorite team because these are the guys I know, and you know, on my YouTube. On my boxing fanatics, whenever y'all want to just send me your email so that I can send you the invite. I'll let you know when the draft is and we can get a draft on. Jamal Charles is a sleeper because of C.J. Anderson. If Anderson goes down or if Anderson doesn't look that good, Charles will come up in its place. And Charles is known as one of the best yards per carry running backs of all time. I think he averages 5.4 a carry, which means you give him the ball both times, majority of the time he'll get you the first down. That's how good Jamal is. He's just been injury prone, so they got rid of him. That doesn't mean he won't resurrect his career over here with Denver and really outshine on CJ, the smaller, quicker guy, as being the bigger, powerful running back. More powerful running back, excuse me. But these are my sleepers. If I do a draft with you guys, I'm going to be pissed because I gave away my sleepers. Carlos Hyde is another good one. Golden Tate is the #1 receiver for Detroit. Carlos Hyde is a starter. Even if you can't get a star-like roster, at least get starters. At least get someone who's going, like Carlos Hyde, C.J. Anderson. These guys are taken late in the draft, but they are both starters of their team. So if you can get a starter who you know will get the ball, then you take it. Okay? Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all, like I said, do more than one team. Draft more than one team. You'll be mad as hell if your team loses and then you got to wait a whole week for a win or a potential win. You might not win next week. And don't be ashamed to get quarterbacks first. Rodgers and Brady are left on the list dumb late, which makes no sense because normally those two are the ones who score the most points in fantasy. It was just last year where Johnson outbeat Rodgers. That was the first time in like 6 years that a running back has beaten a quarterback in fantasy points. No, the quarterback is the #1 scorers in fantasy. Don't be ashamed to pick them first, especially Rodgers and Brady. You know they're going to score. Don't go with ifs, ands, or buts with a Gronk who has to rely on Brady to get his score. You see what I mean? Majority of the time, go look at recent history of Brady stats and Gronk stats. Brady destroys Gronk. Destroys him in fantasy. It's not even close. So don't go by the whole ESPN, just like they doing with their boxing top pound-for-pound fighters. Don't go by that shit. Don't go by who they feel you should take. Now, granted, if you get the first 2 picks in the draft, okay? The first 2 picks in the draft this year, I do recommend Bell or Johnson. I do recommend that. After those 2, sky's the limit. I don't think Odell Beckham scoring more than Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Neither is Antonio Brown, as much as y'all want them to do so. Neither is Ezekiel Elliott. None of them dudes are scoring more than Brady and Rodgers. And it goes down the line. I think Stafford scored more than them dudes. There's other quarterbacks out there who scored way more than running backs. So go look at 2016 offense when you're doing the draft and look at all the quarterbacks. Click on points and then look at all the quarterbacks that are #1s. And then it drops down to the running backs and wide receivers. But just a small take. This is how I do it. This is why they call me Mr. 3 Rings. Because I'm a Super Bowl champion 3 times over. It ain't easy. You're going against 10 teams, 8 other teams, But I'm a Super Bowl champion. So obviously I know what I'm talking about. 3 times. Mr. 3 Rings, you call me on here. Let me know what y'all think. I got to get ready for work. Get the fuck out of here. D-Block. And I'm out this bitch. Oh, yeah. Don't forget. I didn't forget about the Terrence Crawford versus Julius Ndongo for the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. As long as Floyd is not fighting. I'm out this